Hey everybody, it's Heather. I just got our pre-production copy of Sushi Boat. I'm gonna do a review of all the components this weekend, but I figured that you guys might like to see it as I unbox it before I give it a review. So as you can see, when we get a pre-production copy, it comes exactly as hopefully we're going to see the final product. So it's actually shrink wrapped and everything. As far as I know, we haven't made any changes since we sent these files in, so as long as everything looks good, then I can give them to go ahead to make the final printing. So we'll just open the shrink wrap so that we can get a better view of the whole box because it's a little shiny. So it's a very nice linen finish, which I love because glossy just I don't know. I prefer the matte linen finish a little bit on my boxes. You'll see that a lot in our games. So, all right. So get that out of the way. So you can see here's our cover with our lovely Akiko getting ready to serve all the sushi. We have our sides that look like wood. Those look great. And then you'll see on the end here, there's Akiko. And of course this is our first printing, our Kickstarter printing, so this has got the wooden board with it, so you'll see that. And then you'll see on the back it's got a list of the components, it's got some pictures, so I'll go through all this data and make sure that everything is correct, just so that we don't have to make any changes. So let's open it up and see. Okay, so here's what we would see as soon as we open it. So we'll see that Akiko has done a nice little sampler menu for us. Basically tells you what all the different sushis are, gives you a little bit of information about it. We love sushi here at Japanime, so we have probably had most of these, if not all of these, and we usually go out to some kind of Asian dinner when we get together, whether it's sushi or ramen or something like that. So we really love making this game. And if you can hear my dog in the background, I apologize. And then you'll see the side dishes on the back, so it gives you a little menu. So you'll see all the different photos of those. And again, we've probably had most of these. If you haven't had some of these, we really recommend that you do. We absolutely love Asian cooking. We think it's all really great. So except for the fugu. The fugu's a little scary. So that's the first thing that you would see. And then we've got our rule book. So you'll see that it's a little bit differently shaped. We usually do our squares or our smaller boxes. So this was obviously a little bit different because it's our sushi boat. So I'll obviously go through all this and make sure that all of our text is here and that everything is updated. But just on first glance, this looks great. There's our Kiko again. And then our FAQs on the back. So I'll be going through all this stuff again later. So here's our punch board. It does come with the coins. We are missing one, but it's probably somewhere in here, just because you know, punch boards don't always hold it. But you can see that each one has a little punch in the middle to represent what the actual Asian coins look like. So we love that idea. So again, I'll go through and I'll count all the coins, make sure that the punch board looks good. I'll inspect it very closely and make sure that the graphics look good for us. And then we have our little bento box here. So we have our sushi boat. It's the nice wooden board. Our designer, Elaine, did a great job with this. She went through several times to make sure that everything looked really great. So you've got your conveyor belt here. And it's a really nice finish. It's not too shiny, which makes it hard sometimes to see on a game table. So, and then we've got the beautiful illustrations up here that we added. So, nothing on the back. I'll probably ask them a little bit about these pegs because they feel a little bit raised, and we want this to sit flat, so we'll ask them about that. And there's a little bit of glue here, but again, this is pre-production, so sometimes it's not quite as nice as the finished product. So, but I'll bring that up to them just to make sure. Then we've got our scoreboard. You'll see that the sushi is empty because it's been eaten because it's the end of the game. A little bit of soy sauce splashed all over there. We tend to make a mess sometimes. And there's a little bit of wasabi left over here because it's a little bit hot. Sometimes I don't finish my wasabi. Back is blank. We just decided that since it was just going to be the one-sided, we weren't going to worry about it. Here's our player boards. Oh, there's our missing coin. Okay, so there's our missing coin. So I'll have to ask them about settling this stuff in here so that this doesn't happen, because we want this to be a nice presentation when you guys open it. So this is how it's supposed to look, like a nice little bento box that you have. And over here is our player boards. So this is what each player will have in front of them, kind of like their little bamboo mat with their wasabi ready to go. Here's all the different colors where you can keep track, and then it's the scoring at the bottom. And then each color, I'll have to check these against our Pantones that we sent to them to make sure that they look right. At the moment they look pretty close, but we just like to make sure, just because we know that sometimes if color determination is a difficult problem for some people's vision. So I'll check that against that and make sure that looks good. Again, blank on the back. Here's our large cards. So this is your turn order reference cards and your special action reference. So these are things that they're in the rule book, but we referred to them so often that we gave them their own pack. So you'll see that it's a nice oversized card, easy to read, tells you the special actions that you can take, and then on the other side it's what happens during a turn. So that's something that you would put next to your play mat, or your placemat, I suppose. Here's our wasabi cubes. As much as we would love to actually send you guys wasabi, these seem like they were probably a little bit safer. So here's all of our wasabi. We'll give those a count, make sure that there's enough there. Here's the little tokens for each player that goes along with the colors on the player boards, so that everyone can keep track of who's who. So those all come underneath. And then you have your little coin tray here. During the game, there's going to be a lot of back and forth with coins and stuff, so this kind of gives you a place to kind of keep them all in one place. It can be removed if you don't want to keep it, but it's something that when we were playing, we found that it was a lot easier to have something that was nice to keep the coins there. Here's a little bag to keep the dishes in during the game. So what I'll do is I will fill this later and make sure that everything fits, because we want to make sure, obviously. One of our plates has gone escaping, so I'll talk to them about that. Here's a little wasabi bowl, and it's actually glass, if you can hear it, so that's a cute little thing. So this is where your wasabi cubes will go. They don't all fit, so I will definitely talk to them about that. I think these cubes are a little bit bigger than we requested, so I'll probably talk to them about that. It could be that they just sent us what was on hand, and they will make them for the actual printing. So I'll mention that to them, but that fits in here very nicely. It actually might be a little bit small, so maybe the bowl was actually something they had on hand. So I will ask them about that and make sure. Here's our card deck in a very lovely little box. So it tells you what's inside. There is enough room in here. I will sleeve this later and make sure there's enough room in here for sleeves. We always like to make sure of that. And here's the special menus. So this will tell you what you can score. These are basically secret goals when you're playing. You're going to choose one or two at the beginning, and you're going to decide if you want to go after it. No one else knows what you're doing. So that's what these are. These are the special menu cards. So these are the pairing points. Put those aside. And then here's your side dishes. So tempura, yakitori, edamame, gyoza, miso, takoyaki, the mochi, And then the wasabi, the hot stuff. And then onigiri, which is one of my favorites, and udon. And then there's the fugu, which I am fascinated by, but I'm kind of terrified of. So I don't think I'll ever try it. But so those are the side dishes. Again, I will go through, I'll count them, make sure that the text is right on them, make sure we have the right count of everything. And there's our sushi boat cards. So we'll put those aside. We have our chopstick box. Sorry. So this is a little, a nice little box just made to hold all the different things. Okay, yeah, no, that's right. I was thinking of a different game there. So you can put your wasabi in here if you want to. You can put your tokens in here if you want to. So that's kind of what we did this for, is just to kind of give you some place that's a lot easier to keep little things in. And then obviously it's just kind of cute to make it look like a bento box with your chopsticks there. Here's the little characters, the people that are working at the sushi. So here's our Kiko. She's so cute. Hiroshi, Satsuki, and then a couple of Nekos. So these guys all have different things that they do when you come across them. If you want to tip them to have them do their action when you get to their spot in the sushi restaurant. So this is a little loose, so I'm going to talk to them about that. So that goes right there. And then we have our plates. So we worked a long time on these, believe it or not. This was a lot of work to get these to work exactly how we want to. So if you haven't taken a look at the rules yet, you're going to score based on the collections of sushi that you have on your plates, as well as the colors that you have. So you're going to get points for how many colors you have in a row. You're going to get points for how many different kinds of sushis or how many similar kinds of sushis that you have. So we had to come up with a design that was would fit snugly and were easy to put together, but wouldn't show what was inside, because you once you stack your plates, you're not allowed to look at them again. So this was a lot of going back and forth with STL files and checking and everything. And then they have their little coatings there so that they, they're protected. You don't want to have just raw sushi floating around on a sushi boat. So I will go through, same thing, make sure that they match up with our Pantones, make sure that the counts are correct with what stickers are on what colors, because that obviously is going to be a thing. And then I'll fill the bag with them to make sure that we have enough. And obviously, most importantly, what I'll do is I will take our sushi boat here, and I will make sure that once we fill our sushi boat, that they go through smoothly, that nothing catches, that all the plates are real smooth and they move real nicely. So you can see they're going to go back and forth. So that looks great. And the texture on the belt is really nice, so it kind of slides along without being too slick. So that's great. You'll see here where these are where your pawns are going to go, and then depending on how many people you have, sometimes you'll use all of them, sometimes you'll use fewer of them. You'll see that here we have a spot for a staff member or a neko. But so far everything looks great. I'll go through, I'll do all the counts. I'll go through and make sure that the text all looks correct, that everything matches up. I'll send back the feedback to them about, the things not quite fitting, so that they slid a little bit in transport, to see if we can improve that. This is a little bit wobbly, but I don't think it's too bad. So I'll see if maybe we can get this a little bit thicker here so that we can get it to move a little bit less. But I love how it looks when you take it away and you've got your bento there. So that's great. I love that. So that's basically, you know, that's the first look as I'm opening this box of Sushi Boat. I'll go through and do all the specifics, make sure that everything is here. I'll send back the feedback to them. We are doing all the printings of the different languages at once. So we do have our international partners that are doing in other languages sending us feedback as well. And I think we have most of that feedback. So unfortunately, I think I was one of the last ones to get my copy of this. So hopefully fairly soon I'll be able to report back that we gave them the final go-ahead to finish the final printings and the assemblies so that we can get them on get the boats on a boat and send them on to us so that we can then send them on to you guys. So I know you've been waiting, and we appreciate the incredible patience that you've had. We know that you're all anxious. This has definitely been a big challenge for us. There was a lot of pieces here that we've just never done before. We've never worked with a wooden board like this before. We've never done these plates before. You know, we're used to doing just kind of cards and maybe some punch boards. So it's definitely been challenging, but we're hoping that what you guys are going to get was worth the wait. We are completely in love with this project, so we hope that you're going to love it as much as we do. And that's it. If you guys have any questions or if you want to see pictures of something specific, just let me know. And that's all. Thank you guys so much.